The other times it's trucks. My question is, and this may go to another committee as well, but when we close Gay Street for the summer closure, where do those park trucks that double park go? And if in fact there is a place for them to go, why do we not make them go there all the time? For your thoughts, for your considerations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carroll. Did I see someone come forward, please?
Hi, I'm Jeannie Bartow. I live on the 100 block of East Minor Street, and I'm here because we keep on getting our cars hit on East Minor Street. It's the corner of South Matlack and East Minor near the park. My car was hit for the second time in a year on Monday night before the snow started. My neighbor Robin across the street has had her car hit 5 times in the past year. A majority of them are hit and runs, and I think it's because people are running the stop sign. They're turning the corner too fast, and then they're overcorrecting and they're sideswiping our cars at that corner. And I don't know if there's anything that can be done, but I just wanted to bring it to attention that it's been like a big problem the past year. Robin said she's lived in her house for 32 years, and this is the first time her car's been hit. So to be hit 5 times in a year is a lot. And so just wanted to bring it to your attention. I don't know if we can do a speed bump, make a bigger stop sign, start ticketing people, but I just wanted to bring it here.
Thank you for sharing. We'll discuss that with the borough and maybe even the police department. Thank you. Any other comments or suggestions? Okay, we're going to get right into it then. First up, we have the Westchester Fire Department, Chief Scanlon.
Good evening, Mark Scanlon, Fire Chief. We're going to start out with December report for 2023. December, we responded to 158 calls of service. 69 of them were in the borough for a total time in service of 65 hours and 15 minutes for a grand total for the year of 1,592 incidents. Of those, almost 700 of them were in Westchester Borough. Members attended 491 hours of training, 1,173 hours of activities. For a total training hours of 2023 of 19,176 hours. For December, the pre-incident values for fires was 1,301,000 and contents of $302,000. There was an estimated loss of $858,000 with the contents of $177,000. Significant incidents: there was vehicle fire on December 1st, a house fire on December 3rd, a vehicle fire on December 16th, and on December 26th, there was an apartment fire on Patton Alley. Crews entered the residence, located the victim, and removed them to Wading EMS. Unfortunately, the victim succumbed to their injuries sustained in the fire. For January, the Westchester Fire Department responded to 159 incidents. Of those, 65 were in Westchester Borough. There was 1,154 training hours and property values of $16,630,000 with an estimated loss of $3,500 from fires. On January 9th, there were 25 storm-related responses. On the 18th, there was a house fire on Kenmore Drive in East Bradford. The 20th, there was a stove fire, and the 21st, there was also a stove fire. Do you have any questions?
I do not. Anyone else on the committee?
No.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Next up, we have the Westchester Police Department, Chief Lee.
Hi, I'm Josh Lee. I'm the Chief of Police. January's report at the beginning of the year, transition around the police department. Chief Moorhead retired at the end of January. In the beginning of January, really with the end of the year. This month, we've been busy with our public information office, with Dave March, with our community outreach, visited some schools. In the next slide, if you don't mind, Jeff. Visited some schools in the area. Here's a shot of Officer Ziders, who works in our community resource unit at the Sagan Agnes School. As far as numbers go, Nothing extraordinary in January. Responded to just under 2,400 calls in Westchester Borough and just over 800 calls in East Bradford Township, for a total of a little more than 3,000 calls for service. 16 Part 1 crimes and about 75 Part 2 crimes, the most serious of which were 2 burglaries in the Southeast, which we're actively investigating and have some good leads on. And as far as numbers go, that's it. And a word of caution. I typed this up before the storm yesterday that had us running around, but please be careful in the wintertime. Icy roads cause trouble traveling, as you can see from the picture. Any questions? Thank you.
None from me. Anyone else? Thank you. Now, I was remiss, I wanted to congratulate Chief Lee and Chief Scanlon and welcome them to the monthly committee meetings. Looking forward to working with both of you. Chief Brogan, you're up next.
Good evening, Chaz Brogan. I'm the U.S. Chief from Good Fellowship Ambulance. Welcome new committee members. I'm here with Tom Wilcox, our Executive Director. From time to time, Tom will tell us about what's going on the business side or fundraising side with Good Fellowship. I'm going to briefly just cover our 2023 year-end report. We ended the year with 7,662 total calls. That's our busiest year ever in our over 70-year history. 2,200 of them were in Westchester Borough. So typically Westchester Borough is the largest consumer. When you factor in the college population is the highest populated municipality that Good Fellowship covers. So keep on scrolling through there. We are positive 284 calls over 2022. Call volume by hour and by day, that's what we're used to normally seeing. Not sure what happened on Fridays last year, but something went awry on Fridays there. Some special operation stuff there. So these are items we do outside of the 911 business, non-emergency transports to and from hospitals, special events. We do have an on-campus EMS unit at Westchester as well. That's reflected in here. Tactical EMS is our ERT medics that participate on the local SWAT team. And then rehab responses are responses to large incidents across the county to support them. So all of it's explained in detail in the report. Feel free to read it at your convenience there. Again, just keep scrolling. Hospitals, so you can see we kind of went everywhere last year. We mentioned some specialty resource hospitals in there as well, burn centers, trauma centers. Some of those are pediatric facilities as well. So we try to take pediatric patients to pediatric hospitals, especially with the hospital situation we have here in this county being so busy. Just makes sense to divert them elsewhere. We'll keep on scrolling there. Really nothing else extraordinary on the report, the year-end report, unless you have any questions on it at all.
None from me. Any other committee?
No. Yeah, we'll just briefly cover January 2024 then. So this report is specific to calls in Westchester Borough. So for January, total of 165 calls. That was actually down from last year, which is a good thing. So overall was a slower month. Call volume by day of week and hour. It's what we're used to seeing there. Most of the patients here go to Chester County Hospital, just geographically. Most patients go to closest hospital. And relatively campus calls and drug and alcohol suspicion were down. That normally correlates to our college population being in town or not. And they didn't come back till the second or third week of January. So any questions on January that I can answer?
No questions for me.
No. All right. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to action items. Agenda item number 4A, motion to approve the resolution for the Westchester Borough Emergency Service Providers.
This is a piece of annual housekeeping where municipalities have to declare to the county who provides these essential services to the borough. We had a little bit of confusion putting our agenda together, so there's an item that we'll bring up in other business with their emergency operation plans. You might have seen in the attachments, there was a resolution for that labeled as 4A. That's really something we'll take up under other business, but this piece of business is it's a bit of housekeeping. It just declares these emergency service providers within the borough.
Yep, I don't have any questions with that. Any One else? Okay.
No.
Should we go on to 4B, a motion to approve the 2024 open air market schedule? I think I saw open on the weekends, Thursday nights or Friday nights to Monday mornings.
We plan on keeping the same procedure where we would close the streets first thing Friday morning when our crews come in, and then reopen them first thing Monday mornings when our crews come in. And the dates would begin the weekend of Friday, May 3rd, and go through the weekend of September 30th. And we've trimmed a few weeks off the back end of the market because we both agreed and thought it was a good idea that, it gets pretty cold the second, third week of October. So we're not seeing as much business on those weekends.
Okay, any comments? Dale?
Darrell Cook, South Walnut Street. Will the borough be collecting any revenues for this activity?
We don't generally collect revenue for this, my recollection. Is that correct, Mr. Metrick?
It's such a great attraction for the borough, and any car that comes to town spends $1.50 an hour to be stored on our streets and garage. So in a way, we do collect indirect revenue that way.
Thank you.
I do have one question. Sean, do we know how much, it's probably a finance committee question, but how much local tax revenue is generated through local taxes with any of the restaurants or shops?
The quick answer is no, but it would be reflected in earned income tax receipts. So the fact that it generates jobs and employs more people would have an indirect local tax benefit. But I couldn't quantify that for you.
Would John, would you be able to look at that?
So John O'Brien, Executive Director, Westchester Business Improvement District. I do have a proposal to Bill Mann. This is separate about some software that the bid was considering maybe splitting with the borough, which allows you to collect geolocations of movement in certain grids that you can build based on cell phone data. It would allow us to track whether it's, the restaurant festival or the open air market to see what the traffic flows are. We can have further conversations about that. The borough obviously doesn't collect a local sales tax, so that would kind of be more of your indicator on that. We've always made the argument with the vehicles, because I know that was brought up. While at Gay Street, there's about 64 spots on Gay Street in those 4 blocks that are closed. Those vehicles that would be coming to Westchester, they're either going to divert to a side street and park there, or they're going to go into one of the garages. So we don't see a major impact on that.
Thank you.
Hi, Josh again, Police Chief. Just reiterating what we have expressed in the past, last year, the year before, the Police Department, that as much as we know everybody enjoys the open air market, we, from a public safety standpoint, oppose the open air market for 3 reasons. One being the inherent risks associated with the large number of pedestrians occupying a roadway that heretofore has not been, is not securable from either stray vehicles or vehicular assaults. The inaccessibility to the CBD and the open air market to emergency vehicles when the open air market's in effect, and the difficulty with which it is to patrol the CBD during the hours of the open air market.
Thank you, Chief. Any other comments? So it looks like we'll put that on the agenda for next week. 4C, motion to amend firefighter parking. Is this something you'll go over, Sean, as well?
I think Chief Scanlon has some comments on that. Council had set up a parking incentive program last year to extend parking in the central business district and garages to a select number of volunteers. And I think Mark would like to propose some changes.
Mark Scanlon, Fire Chief. Yes, last year we talked with the borough about providing certain members of the department who were more active parking incentives in the borough. They would just be at metered spots. We found that it increased the volunteerism in people. It got them to come around more, and people enjoyed it. So it got them into town. And this year we talked to Sean and Ramsey about possibly extending that program to the active members. Like I said, it's just at meter spots. It's not in parking garages. It's not in any of the other parking lots. So we provided Ramsey with a list of 30 additional individuals, I believe it was. And we would like to extend that privilege to them as well.
Mr. Metrick, is there a reason that we exclude the garages and we just restrict it to metered spots?
I can't recall the reason, but I think there was one. I apologize.
I believe it was that they didn't want the opportunity of anybody to be parking in there for an extended period of time. But just by parking at meters, it limits the amount of time that they can stay.
Okay, that makes sense. Any questions from the committee?
No.
Any questions from anyone in attendance? Okay, this makes sense to me, Mr. Metrick, for next week. 4D, moving on, motion to direct Civil Service Commission to create an eligibility list for the promotion to positions of lieutenant, sergeant, and corporal. Is this you, Chief Lee, or?
Yes, like slide one of my first thing mentioned a lot of transition in the department, the current vacancies for those positions, corporal, sergeant, and lieutenant. And I believe it's just a matter of business that council has to direct civil service to start filling those spots and they're prepared to do that.
Any questions or comments from the committee?
No.
Any from anyone in attendance? Okay. That will also go on next week, Mr. Metrick. And then 4D, approve the December 2023 meeting minutes.
So I
But-
noted that those weren't posted in the attachments, so I recommend the committee table that item.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tabled. And then we had an item for other business, Mr. Metrick.
Yeah, what was posted as attachments was an item called 4E, which is a resolution to adopt the update to the emergency operation plan. And I think Mr. March can speak a little bit to that.
Good evening. Dave March, I'll wear my emergency management hat today. So yearly, we are required to bring to council our emergency management plan and have you sign a resolution that cancels out any other plan before that. I can tell you that the only changes for this plan was adding new council members or new police chief, fire chief's contact numbers. So other than that, it's basically the same.
I didn't have any questions.
No.
Do this every year. All right, thank you. Any other business? Okay, we will adjourn the meeting at 5:52. Thank you.